Hello, this is Melissa Daniels, and this is Strabismus to Stereopsis. This is a channel all about what to do with an eye that is not pointing straight and how to get your eyes aligned and working together. And one option is using glasses with prism. Most of you have probably heard about that, and that is what this video is about. We're on the last video of a series of 10 Q&As where I have been answering your questions from the comments and emails that I've been receiving. So today we're going to talk all about prism. Before we jump into that, make sure to go over to learn.strabismussolutions.com, take the free quiz, sign up for one of the courses or a Zoom call with me, and we can help you get going on your own journey with strabismus. So let's get on to our question for today. This question comes from @Paula Camarada 2963, and Paul, so maybe it's a guy. Okay, what's your opinion on permanent prism use in glasses? After I graduated vision therapy, my doctor said to use some prism for base out, but they made me so dizzy. I felt sick for almost a week after trying them. I feel horrible when they are off, and I have computer reading glasses that don't require them. I don't think they are good for me, but it's the only option the doctors offer. Okay, so this is just going to be my personal opinion. Of course, every single case is different, and there are so many different ways to use prism. I have a full video all about how prism is used in like different ways, so you might want to go watch that if you want more information. I'll link it in the description. Prism can be an amazing tool. Here's an example of what a prism could look like. These are called yoked prisms. This is more of a tool in vision therapy, not necessarily what you would put in your glasses. But as you can see, the glass is thin on one side and thick on one side. So this is the base and this is the apex. And so it's going to bend light towards the apex. So if I put them on my eyes like this, because the bases are both to the left, it's going to shift everything to the right. So that's kind of the idea of what prisms are. And how they work is if you have an eye turn, you can arrange the prisms so that it shifts, like the world is shifted, light is shifted to kind of match your eye turn and make it easier for you to get fusion. Okay, so that is, like especially in vision therapy, the goal is, can we get you to have fusion and comfortable fusion? It can help a lot with headaches and eye strain and all these different things. Fusion is the goal. Sometimes the prism is compensating for an eye turn. So, if you have a really severe eye turn, it's like matching the eye turn and trying to push the light towards where those eyes are sitting. Sometimes they're just like a very minor adjustment, maybe like a half diopter up, and both of them are matched, so it's yoked. And those are more used as like a therapeutic approach. So there's different ways that those prisms are used. In my opinion, I am not a doctor in any way, but I found that using prism was extremely effective for me as I was learning to use my eyes together. When my eyes were turned, or actually after surgery, my eye was in, and it was really difficult for me to get fusion because my eyes just weren't pointing. They weren't seeing the same thing, getting the same picture. So we put prism, my doctor put prism on my glasses, and we actually used a stick-on prism. And I think it was like started at 10 diopters, and I used that to get fusion. So my eyes were like this, and I would do a bunch of eye exercises with this prism. And then 2 weeks later, we decreased it to 8 and then decreased it to 6. And so I needed less and less. And as we were doing this, my eyes were straightening, right? So we used it as a tool that decreased over time to help me get fusion so that I could use my eyes together. Sometimes you need that extra crutch, right? You need something to kind of help you get going in the right direction, and then you can do it without the prism. I don't use those prisms anymore. I eventually got prism ground into my glasses, I think like 3 diopters, and that is a compensatory prism. I've got a slight inward eye turn still, and I don't even know where they are. I'm like looking on my desk. I sometimes keep them in my car. I would say maybe once a month or every other month, very irregularly, I might be driving and get a little double, or just like I'm really tired or something, I'll put them on, and that can kind of help. Okay, so that's how I personally choose to use compensatory prism when I'm compensating for an eye turn. because my eye turn is it's changing all the time. It's very fluid. It's very much responding to like environmental, like sleep, diet, all of those things. And so for me, if I use Prism all the time, my brain will be like, oh, it's so nice. And I'll just relax. And then my eye will just get worse and worse. And I'll need stronger and stronger Prism. I know that about my vision because I've done vision therapy. And so I know that I can't wear Prism in that way, that compensatory Prism. And that's what you're talking about. 4 diopters base out means that the bases are both out. It's pushing the pictures in, which means you probably have esotropia. And so that's more what they're prescribing, right? They're compensating for that eye turn, and you could get used to that and start needing more and more and more and more, right? To get fusion and to feel good. So for me, I choose not to use the Prism all the time. I choose to I have it and it's there in case I need it for like driving or sometime when I'm feeling uncomfortable. Now, other people are not that way, especially like if it's something that came from like a nerve palsy or like a lot of times like a vertical turn, you can get a Prism and it'll stay steady for your whole life. Like it never has to change. You just use this 2 diopter Prism and bam, you get fusion, no double vision, and you're good to go forever, right? So in that case, like it's fantastic. Like what an amazing tool that you can put this in your glasses and relieve all your symptoms. Like for those people, it's amazing. That's just not what it was for me. And so you have to kind of get to know your own visual system. You need to know, you've done all of your vision therapy. How do you respond to Prism? Do you eat up that Prism and need more and more and more? Or does it help? Okay. So that's kind of my basic opinion about whether or not using Prism is a good idea. I will say that when I use Prism, especially when I first get a new Prism, when we were doing that Prism adjustment and changing every 2 to 3 weeks, decreasing, every time I put on the new Prism, I had an adjustment period. I didn't feel good, especially if I wasn't wearing them constantly. If I would just wear them all the time, it would happen in probably like 2 days and my brain would adjust and the dizziness and exhaustion and all of those things would go away and I'd get used to it. But if I would take them off on accident. I would like constantly be like, where did my glasses go? And I would have taken them off without even knowing because it was just irritating. But then if you kind of push through that, then it's fine after that. Like there's just like that adjustment period. Okay, so I've gone back and forth and given all these different little things. Here's the bottom line. Prism is a very powerful, amazing tool. It can be used to do so many different things, to build awareness, to help bring comfort and get rid of visual strain and help with an eye turn, all of those things. Amazing, right? You have to be aware of how your body responds. Give it time, right? Give it a solid week of wearing them full time, not on and off all the time, but literally wearing them all the time and see how you respond. If it starts getting worse and you're like, it's coming back now. Like, okay, I waited for 4 days. Now I'm not feeling dizzy and nauseous. I feel pretty comfortable. Everything looks beautiful. And then like 2 weeks later, you're like, oh, the double vision's starting to come back again. Okay, then we know that you are one of those people that is just going to eat up that Prism. And so you need to do more eye exercises. You need to do more so that your brain can use those eyes and have more control, right? But if you go through that initial few days and the dizziness and like that confusion goes away and you feel amazing and it never goes away and you keep being able to feel good with these glasses, then fantastic. You found an easy solution. So much easier to put on a pair of glasses than to do months of vision therapy or surgery, right? Like this is a great solution. So totally think it's something to try and just be really aware of. Give it some time, right? You've got to give it that time because putting those prisms on your eyes, that is going to create some symptoms, even if it's the perfect solution for you, right? You've got to give it time and then kind of see how you respond after that. Like give it a little time and see what happens, right? Like if it works, how amazing is that? So I hope that answers your question. If not, maybe schedule a call. We can always do Zoom call, one-on-ones, and then we can talk more specifically about what you are experiencing. For everyone else watching this video, throw in the comments how you have responded to Prism. How How do you feel? Like, do you notice that adjustment period? Do you eat the prism up? Does it work? Have you had the same amount forever? Curious. Everyone responds a little bit differently, and I think that's the important thing to know here. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Have a fabulous week.